everyone, I am Lydia and welcome to the Student Guide Podcast, a place where we listen, we learn, we grow and improve to become the best versions of ourselves. And on this episode, we are engaging with one of the examination officers of the Department of Meteorology and Climate Science, since mid-term examination is around the corner. To some students, it means there is pressure, anxiety, and a lot of unanswered questions. So stay tuned and enjoy.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the questions. So mid-semester exams, is part of our normal assessment of students during their time on campus. So each semester we have end of semester exams, and as part of the assessment, at the middle of the semester, we have some part of that assessment. So the mid-semester contributes 30% of students' performance in the main, and then the end of semester is 70% of the total marks. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Mid-semester exams are compulsory for all students. As I mentioned earlier, it's an assessment that we do, and it's just it's 30% of your total assessment at the end of the semester. So it's compulsory. There's no way you should miss out mid-semester. If you miss it, then it means that you are going to be fighting for your performance will be assessed just 70% of your your assessment will be based on 70% and not 100%. So it's compulsory for all the students to take part in it. When a student forgets his or her ID, one of the things you need to do is if you leave your hostel and you realize that you have forgotten of it, or your home or wherever it is, you realize that you've forgotten of it, the first thing is go to your department. Either you can go and see your exams officer, or you can go and see your head of department. They will write a note. So usually they have those things there. They just fill in, they write that you are a student, they indicate your index number and all of those things, and then you can carry that. So you come with it, and then you can, once you have it, you can be allowed to enter the exams office, enter and write the exams. You have to understand that without the ID, you are not allowed, because this is one of the identifications. So once before you enter the exam hall, we have to inspect your ID. Your ID will look at your face, look at your ID, and at least to be able to identify that you are a student before we allow you to enter. So in the event that you forget this, don't come there and explain to the invigilator and be standing there to tell the invigilator that you have forgotten your ID. They will not allow you. Just go straight to your exams officer or to your head of department, and then they will give you that form. Once they sign and stamp on it, you can come with it. You will now use that to enter the exams. If you misplace it too, then you can use that particular note to write the exams, but you have to make sure that immediately after the exams, you have to go to the quality assurance unit to be able to get your ID back. Very important. Yeah, so for the items that if student is going to the exams hall, you will definitely need your pen, you will need your pencil, you will need your eraser, you will need your calculator if you're coming from the maths background. In fact, even me during invigilations, sometimes you see students come in and they're going to look out for pen because they assume that I don't know how they usually get this kind of information. Someone is coming and then they come with only pencil, and then you get there and let's say they're supposed to answer like a theory question, and then the person is now there, I don't have a pen. So you will need your pen. Please go in with your pen, go with your eraser, go in with your pencil, your ruler, your math set, all of those things, and then your calculator as well. Technically, you are not allowed to collect any material from any student. So all of you have to enter, students just have to go into the exam hall with their materials. In fact, there's a reason this rule is there. And it's also because of the exam practice, because sometimes the reason we don't allow that you collect material from another student. And the reason is something like eraser. Students do bad things with it. So if it is objectives, a particular student can be writing an answer on an eraser and passing it to another student. And this is one of the reasons we don't allow you sharing materials during the exams hall. So every student that is going to write the exams, you go in with your own materials, because you are not going to be allowed to collect anything from anyone. In terms of the arrival time, per the rules, students are supposed to arrive at the exams for 30 minutes to the start of the paper. And one of the biggest reasons we do that is, once we come, we have to prepare the students. Like you have to enter the time that we have to usher all the students inside to get seated and to be seated and prepare for the exams. Like, so that's the time that we use to do all those things. Because if the paper is at 3 o'clock, it means that at 3 o'clock exactly you are starting. But it means that we have to sit you in before the 3 o'clock. So we need some time to be able to sit all the students in. The other additional reason is that sometimes there can be change in venue of the paper, or some other things can happen that paper might not be written in that particular venue. So if you are not there early, you will miss out all this information, and that will affect you in a different way. So any digital equipment like phones, smart watches, or smart glasses, or whatever, are not allowed. It's forbidden. You are not allowed to come to the exams hall with any of them. So if you have a way of keeping them somewhere before you come to write the exams, please do. But of course, sometimes the invigilators are flexible. So usually when you bring in your bag, we have a place where you can put your phones inside and keep them there. And then after the exams, you can pick them up. Okay. But if it is something that you can manage your thing and keep it elsewhere, please, why not? But you have to understand that when you go and you sit, you cannot have your phone in your pocket or any smartwatch. When you are caught, it's considered exam malpractice, and whatever rules that are there will be sanctioned against you. Yeah, so the exams malpractice that we always see is students trying to teach the others. And one of them is like, so sometimes like another student is trying to teach one student sitting in front of him or sideways or whatever. The other one is the one this eraser thing. So a student is saying, oh, I need eraser from this person. And then they write the answers on the eraser and pass it on to the other. Sometimes they also say, oh, calculator, and they keep keying the whatever in the calculators, and then they are passing it to. See, you have to understand that there's a saying that when a bird learns how to fly without perching, the hunter also knows how to shoot without missing. This is something that invigilators know very well, and they will catch you easily. So don't try it. If there's anything, just do your work genuinely and don't attempt any exam malpractice during the exams period. So one of the mistakes that students do during mid-semester exams is that some of them assume that the mid-semester exams is not important. So they don't actually prepare or learn for it. And as I mentioned, some of them, of course, it's part of the continuous assessment, but it's 30%. So imagine you not preparing for 30%. What's the probability that when you are going to work on the right fight for the 70%, you actually make it? So if you miss out on the 70%, it means that like it's already bad for you. So this is one of the things. Students feel that mid-semester it's not too important, so they don't actually put in their best. But look, I feel that, look, when you put in your best for the mid-semester exams and you're even able to make up like a 25-26% of it, you are already heading towards like an A if you invest in that same energy at the end of the mid-semester, at the end of semester exams as well. So for exams anxiety, in my opinion, it is a normal thing. All of us go through it. Even me as a lecturer, even if I'm going for an interview or things of this nature where I'm going to face like a particular panel or even exams, I shiver as well. So it is something that's part of us. But all you just need to know is like be calm. Learn to be calm and learn to control your emotions. Of course, they will come, but don't let them take too much of you. Okay, so learn to control your emotions and just know that it's normal. But then you'll be able to do it. Okay, so it's normal thing, and I don't think that like students should panic too much. When it happens, calm down, breathe in, breathe out, and then work on your exams. You'll be fine. So exams malpractice, as I said earlier, is a big deal in this university, and I wouldn't advise any student to be involved in it. When you are involved in it, there's so much that goes into it. Look, when you are caught, there are some forms that you will have to fill. And then when you fill those forms, the university is going to set up a committee. Now that committee will now look into the issue properly. In fact, when you are caught in the exams hall, what usually we do is, let's say you were found carrying some foreign materials in it. Those materials will be taken, you will fill a particular form. We will make a photocopy of your exams paper. We'll make a photocopy of the exams material that you were holding, and all of that will be archived, and that's what the committee is going to use. In fact, when you are filling the form, there will also be witnesses. So all the other invigilators that were in the exams hall, they will sign, witnessing, saying that they were witnesses to when you were caught. So everyone that was in that room will sign, and you will also sign. Then after that, they set up a committee that will do the investigation. When the committee is now going to meet, in fact, they have a university lawyer, so the committee is going to be there. The university lawyer is there, and in fact, you, the student, will also you're also allowed to bring in a lawyer. Okay, all of these things are stressed, and in fact, when you are found culpable, you can be rusticated, depending on the magnitude of the crime. Okay, so you can be sacked, okay, or you can be suspended, or depending on when they look at the rule and what punishments are that can be meted out on that. Okay, so I would just say that, look, don't get there. That's the thing. Just don't get there, and don't be involved in it. Just don't get there, because the processes that happen, that you have to go through, as I mentioned, is not something that you should be part of it. My name is Dr. Edmond Ilimoyamba. I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Meteorology and Climate Science, and also the examinations officer for the department as well. Yes, so so the very last thing I'm going to tell the students is that they have to, when the exams timetable is out, they have to study the exams timetable and know the venue that they are going to write the exams, the venue and the time. This is important sometimes, and you have to keep check of these days. Now, sometimes the timetable comes and then it is provisional before the final one now comes. So maybe by the time the final timetable will come, there would have been changes from the provisional one. So if you are still keeping the old information from the provisional timetable, you might miss out on the timing and then the venue. I have seen cases where we finish writing the exams and then the student now arrives, and then he'll be like, he thought that the exams was at this time when the time was actually not. Or some of them, like, we start the exams 1 hour into the exams before they now arrive because they got the timing very wrong. And when you do that, if you come 1 hour into the time, you will not be allowed, because they say that once they start the exams, the rule is if you start the exams 30 minutes and you are 30 minutes late, you will not be allowed to write the exams anymore. So these are things that you need to take note so that you don't miss. Once you have the timetable, keep validating. Be sure that that the day and the venue that you are writing that particular paper is actually that. Even sometimes just also speak with your colleagues just to be sure that all of you are still writing that same paper. That's a way of validation. And this is important because so you don't miss out on the timing and also on the venue of the paper.